Have you ever noticed how a simple scroll through your feed can completely change the way you feel about yourself? You might be sitting peacefully, sipping your cup of tea, feeling good about the day ahead, when suddenly you see a photo of someone on a beach vacation. The water looks crystal blue, their smile is effortless, and the caption says something about living their best life. Just a few swipes later, another person is celebrating a career achievement, a promotion, a new office, a proud moment, and then there's someone else at the gym looking perfectly toned, strong and confident. Within minutes, your own morning feels less exciting, less valuable, almost as if you're already behind before the day has even begun. In today's episode, we're going to talk about this silent weight of social media, the way comparison sneaks in without us realizing, and how it slowly drains our sense of self-worth. This is the shadowed reality of social media. It's not always obvious, not always loud. Sometimes it's just this quiet, sinking feeling, the one that lingers in the background long after you've closed the app. You don't notice it right away, but it shapes your mood. It shifts your energy. And it makes you believe that what you're doing is never quite enough. And the strange part is, before you opened your phone, you were fine. You were okay. You might even have been content. But the moment those images flashed in front of you, something inside you shifted. And just like that, the same nagging voice cuts through your calm and takes over. You should be doing more. Look at them. Why aren't you there yet? Why aren't you happy like them? The fact is, comparison is not a new behaviour. It's something humans have always done. For as long as we've existed, we've looked at others to understand our place in the world. Thousands of years ago, comparison was about survival. If someone hunted better than you, it mattered. If someone built stronger shelters, it mattered. Measuring ourselves against others was a way of protecting ourselves, a way of knowing whether we were keeping up with the tribe. But here's the difference. Back then, you only compared yourself to the small group of people around you, a few dozen, maybe 100 at most. Now, with the phone in your hand, you compare yourself with thousands, even millions of people, every single day, and not even with their real lives, but with their most polished, most curated, most filtered moments, their highlight reel. And here's where it becomes dangerous. You're comparing your messy, unfiltered, everyday reality to someone else's carefully crafted image, the version of themselves they've chosen to show. You're sitting in your room, surrounded by the noise of your own thoughts, while they're showing you their one perfect photo out of 50 taken, edited until it looks flawless. Of course you'll feel behind. Of course you'll feel like you're not measuring up. You're playing a game that was never fair to begin with. The problem is, our brains don't fully understand the difference. Even when we know logically that people filter, edit, or exaggerate online, our emotions don't really understand the memo. We react as if it's real. We take it in as if it's the full story. Just like when you watch a film and feel sadness for a character you know isn't real, your emotions still respond. Social media works the same way, but instead of fiction, it's disguised as reality. And so, every image, every caption, every milestone becomes another measuring stick, another reminder of where you think you're falling short. What makes this worse is how subtle it is. Social media doesn't scream at you directly. It doesn't come out and say, "You are not enough." It doesn't need to. Instead, it's the quiet ache in your chest when you see a friend buying a house while you're still renting. It's the hesitation before you post something, wondering if it will get enough likes to seem worthy. It's the emptiness after scrolling for hours, realizing you've consumed so much of other people's lives while your own slipped by in the background. That's the emotional toll. It drains you without you even noticing. And slowly, your own inner critic grows louder. Every time you compare, you give that critic more evidence. See? They're ahead. They're fitter. They're more successful. What are you doing with your life? It becomes this endless, exhausting cycle. You're not just living anymore, you're performing. You're staging moments, curating them, trying to keep up. Your birthday isn't just a celebration, it's a photo shoot. Your holiday isn't just rest anymore, it's an online content. Even your relationships become filtered through the question, how does this look online? Will the society approve of us? But here's the painful truth. No matter how good your post is, someone else's will be better. Someone else will have more followers, more likes, more engagement. And so, the race never ends. You keep running, but the finish line keeps moving. And the more you chase it, the more drained you feel. Because you were never meant to run this race in the first place. Think about how this shows up in small, everyday ways. You wake up in the morning, and before you've even stretched, you've already compared yourself to 5 different people. One person has gone for a 5 a.m. run. Another is drinking a green smoothie. Someone else has shared their morning meditation routine with the perfect lighting. And there you are, just waking up, already feeling like you're behind. Or maybe you've had a genuinely good day. You finished a project, you reconnected with a friend, you even allowed yourself to rest. But the moment you log in, someone else is announcing something bigger. A new job, a new house, a new milestone. And suddenly, your joy feels smaller, less important, almost invisible. That's what comparison does. It steals joy from your present moment and hands it over to someone else. It convinces you that your life is only valuable if it looks as impressive as theirs. And what's most heartbreaking is that it creates distance. Social media is supposed to connect us, but when we feel small, we pull away. We share less. Or when we do share, we only show the perfect version of ourselves, the mask. And that mask prevents people from truly knowing us. Instead of connection, we end up with competition. Instead of authenticity, we end up with performance. And if that wasn't enough, social media adds numbers into the mix. Likes, comments, followers. These numbers might seem harmless, but they create a scoreboard. They turn life into a game, where your worth feels tied to metrics. A post with high engagement makes you feel validated. A post with low engagement makes you feel invisible. Without realizing it, you start equating your value with those numbers. Numbers you can't fully control. And when your worth depends on something external, something that changes constantly, you will always feel unstable, always chasing, never at peace. But here's the truth. This cycle can be broken. And the first step is awareness. The moment you notice how comparison works, you begin to loosen its grip. You start seeing the pattern for what it is. And when you see it, you can change it. You can choose to curate your feed, unfollowing the accounts that make you feel small, and following the ones that uplift, educate, or inspire without triggering envy. You can set boundaries, mornings without phones, evenings without screens, little moments where you're just with yourself, not with the endless noise of the world. You can start celebrating your own wins again, not just the big ones, but the small victories, the ones that don't make it to Instagram. The meal you cooked, the call you made, the walk you took, these matter too. You can practice gratitude, writing down 3 things each night that you're thankful for. Gratitude anchors you in your reality, not someone else's highlight reel. And you can choose to be real online, sharing not just the polished moments, but also the imperfect ones, because vulnerability creates true connection. And maybe, when you do, you'll remind someone else that they're not alone either. But beyond these practices lies the deeper question. Do you believe you are enough without the validation of others? Do you believe that your life has value, even if nobody likes it, comments on it, or sees it? What we often forget is, you were enough before social media existed. You were enough before likes, filters, and followers. Your worth was never supposed to be measured by numbers or by comparison. It comes from being, from living, from showing up as you are. So the next time you find yourself scrolling and feeling smaller, pause, take a breath, and remind yourself what you're seeing is not the full story. Behind every perfect photo is a reality you don't see. The insecurities, the struggles, the fears that never make it online. Everyone you follow has their own battles, and so do you. The only life you're meant to live is yours. The only person you should compare yourself with is who you were yesterday. And maybe the most radical thing you can do in a world obsessed with performance is to stop performing, to live instead, to find worth not in how your life looks, but in how it feels. That brings us to the close of today's reflection on the quiet mind. Thank you for listening. If this message resonated with you, share it with someone who might need the reminder. And remember, your worth is not measured in likes. It's measured in the way you live, the way you love, and the way you grow when no one else is watching. Until next time, be kind to yourself and choose presence over comparison.